TB Shore's back. It is still April the 18th, 2016. It's 10:13 a.m. We were discussing here in Revelation 3 about some things that were going on with the Church of Philadelphia and with the Laodicea church. Now, I always, as I vaguely mentioned in the last video, I always found it curious how that the Church of Philadelphia and the Laodicea church were the last two mentioned. Because, of course, we know the Church of Philadelphia to be the true church, which is the one that the wise are part of. And we know the Laodicean church to be the ones that the Lord says he will spew out of his mouth. So there's two very significant things going on just with those two. And the fact that they are at the end of these seven churches mentioned together, I think holds some significance as well. Because here we see 5 churches mentioned, and the Lord lays out his thoughts on those. And then we get to the 6th church, which is the Church of Philadelphia, which is the true church. And then we jump back to a church that is not what it should be, but it's also, it holds a significance even beyond the first 5, because this church is called lukewarm, and he says he will spew them out. It's because they know the truth. They are, I guess the best way to put this, because they are aware of who the bridegroom is and they know the truth. That is why he says he will spew them out, because they know better than what they are doing, because they think. Remember, we talked about up here where he says, thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot. They're not diligently seeking after the Lord, but they're not lost either. So they are those that are aware, but are not doing as, how I guess you could say, they're not heeding the word of the Lord as the Church of Philadelphia has done. And of course, we clearly saw that the spiritual state of them was they thought they had everything in verse 17, Revelation 3:17. But in verse 18, we see the Lord counseling them to buy. See, that takes us back to what we see happening with the foolish in Matthew 25. They were to go buy. And remember what we learned about the word buy? It was about basically just going and doing what you need to do, gathering together, collecting, and coming to the understanding of what it is that you need. But the Lord here, he is urging them to buy of me gold tried in the fire. That's about their purifying and about their cleansing. And of course, that came, as I mentioned before, by seeking the deeper things of God, because we learned several videos back that it is the washing of water by the word that cleanses us within. So, as we read on, I want to go ahead and come down here to where the door is mentioned again. That's where we left off. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Okay, this time we see the Lord doing the knocking. I stand at the door and knock. Whereas before, well, let me get back there. We see it is about our knocking for the door to be opened in Matthew 7 and Luke 11, because it's talking about us asking and seeking and knocking. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. So it was about our knocking and the door being opened to us. That, I believe, the Lord has shown me is about this time of grace that we're in. Because if we seek him, he opens unto us. Okay? If we're seeking after the things of him and knocking for it to be opened unto us, he freely opens that. Just as in Revelation, we see that with the Church of Philadelphia, that he has set before them an open door. And it had to do with thou hast kept my word and not denied my name. It's about heeding the word of the Lord. Okay? And the Laodiceans, they are lukewarm. They have not heeded the word of the Lord. And he is counseling them to do so. To come and buy of him gold tried in the fire to obtain that purification that they need. Okay, the thing I want to point out about, and I'm not quite sure how to explain this, about this door in verse 20. I stand at the door and knock, and if any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him. Okay, like I said, something changed there. It went from us being able to knock and it be opened unto us to the Lord knocking, and they have to open the door for him. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him. So we see something happen there. Something changed. And that change, I believe, is from where during the time of grace, we can come to the Lord, okay? Only just by the asking and the seeking and the knocking, we can come to him and he will open unto us. Okay, that is the time of grace where we come to him. But I believe that once the wise, or the Church of Philadelphia, have been taken into the marriage, I believe that all changes. And based on a couple of scriptures that I'm going to show you, but it's where we see this direction of knocking and opening changing. And I know there's a specific reason for that, because where we now come and knock for the Lord to open to us, if we look down in Matthew 25:11, it goes on to say, afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. And in verse 12, it says, and he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. And you know, it wasn't like he was just simply stating, I know you not. Meaning you've not built that relationship with me, so I don't know you. But what we're going to look at, I guess in the next video, because I don't have enough time left on this one to really get into, but we're going to look at the difference in this knocking and it opening to us, and maybe what happened, or get a little better understanding that turned it to, instead of us going to him, he knocks to us. Because I think that's about when he comes to you, you better be ready, because you missed your first opportunity. Anyway, I'm going to cut this off. And of course, that speaks to, I need to throw this in there, to what we understand about the harvest. Because when the Lord comes and takes the first fruits, or that first catching away, that is for those who are ready. I mean, go back up here to Matthew 25:10. And while they went to buy, meaning the foolish went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage. Of course, and the door was shut. That's what we're discussing now. But only those that were ready went into the marriage. And see, I think at that point, many things change. Uh, and I'm going to try to explain that as best I can in the next video or two. Bye bye. Love you.